Hello, hello, everyone who is here. Thank you very much for joining me for this channel news update. I truly appreciate you joining me. I hope that the sound is good enough. Please let me know if you can't hear me. That would be great. I've been resting up and from my latest spurt of video making, and I hope to continue making videos for the tarot, even though more how to read tarot and the archetypes of the cards and that kind of thing, more along those lines rather than 12 signs every month. It's a little daunting and repetitive for me, honestly, and it's also more to the point, not why I started making videos on YouTube. I actually started making videos on YouTube, not just to present histories of music and vaudeville and entertainment and the theatrical tradition and visual art history and performance art, but also actually I'm really very involved in a very specific branch of ancient history that has a lot to do with telling stories and world mythology and folklore and metaphysics and touches on music and science and art, and it's really why I got a lot of education, as much as they would let me before they said, now you go. And probably in any other system elsewhere in the world, they would have said, now you stay. But this being the system that I have, they said, you go out and do your thing. So I am here doing my thing, and I'm trying very, very hard to produce better and better quality stuff every time I do stuff on YouTube. Every time I try to improve my skills, use better software, use more research, more references, improve the casual nature of my writing. I think that at a certain point in college, they caution you about doing anything unless it's very formally published and peer reviewed. And so it's difficult for me to snap out of that now and get into more of a reported journalism frame of mind, even though I am trained in broadcast journalism. So speaking of which, I've actually prepared something to read so that this isn't entirely ad lib. And this has to do, I thought, hey, I should do, this really very mainstream video with sound effects and clips of logos and very millennial, referring to what I'm talking about and stuff, and just edit crap out of it with close-ups and all this stuff. Like, the YouTube videos that have 700,000 views. And I probably should. But anyway, so thank you for putting up with my kind of low-tech, critical thinking, hippie-raised education kind of take on reporting. I really appreciate it. So thank you. And I know that a lot of people just launch right into things. They don't really update their audiences about, like, I'm taking a new turn. I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm going to try this for a while, or whatever. So thank you for in your own progression, in your own journey towards self-knowledge and self-growth. Thank you for putting up with mine. Blessings. Thank you. I just want to say that. Much love. So I'm going to get on with the rest of what I have to say. The great mythology for the American, the great artistic legacy is the cinema, or the movies, to speak American. To describe my channel and my desires for such, allow me to dissect my early life goals according to the movies. Grease made me want to be cool, but also get an education. Star Wars, I wanted to be Leia. Buckaroo Banzai, that sounded like an excellent career plan. Ghostbusters, ooh, maybe a better fit for my future career path. Possibly difficult to implement, though the libraries provided plenty of reading material, and I know I need college. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Finally, I know I will be an archaeologist anthropologist, but there's no money in that field. All the treasure hunters end up mad, they say. Terrible curses on them and their families. But what if it's destiny? And then a letter arrived. Somewhere just after Labyrinth and Legend, but before Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure at the Yucca Drive-In, which I could see from my roof across the street. It's where the Best Buy is now for you and Santa Feans out there. All right. Anyway, Labyrinth made me want to get into modern music, not just my parents' records. I got a 5-pound brick Emerson cassette player and walked the desert hills. When I saw Labyrinth, I was very down with the art and had a collection of cards from natural food stores in my Whitman sampler box. I'd stare at listening to Beatles albums and burning incense. So to see it in a movie was great fun. But many things troubled me about movies like The Princess Bride and Star Wars and Labyrinth. The traits and qualities of the royals, especially the women, that made the universe in the story revolve around them as an access point. Ostensibly, it is their beauty and status. They can be fallible otherwise. They are both catalysts and also hostages of fated events. I began to wonder where people come from geographically, and did they know? Particularly what they thought about the concept of royalty, that is physically constructed, that it is arbitrary and a birth lottery, that it is a religious divine right concept and therefore has no place in modern government, that it is superfluous to the continuance of humanity and continuity in culture creation, that it is anathema to civilized democracy and was brutish, feudal, violent, which alone is how they ruled. And last but certainly not least, they had So many bastard heirs. Everyone is related to royalty and each other all over the planet. So it is a ridiculous notion that humans having a cultural capital hierarchical structure computers cannot fathom as natural and necessary. That must be pseudoscience. So is the Sixth Sense and mythology, for that matter, also in pseudoscience. Maybe there is something to this. I look around, I see nothing past 100 years old in my home, really, and I wonder, where did anything go? So I began asking. Oh, yes. Now, back to that letter. I was about 10 years old. The letter was from my dad's sister. It included a chart done by their great uncle, Winfield, in the late 1980s, which was when my aunt sent a copy. I treasure it deeply. It even says it is because I asked to know. I pored over it for hours, just names and dates. A few I knew. Frank and Jesse James. The family had some issue with the surrounding history of that. There was Daniel Boone, who married Polly Finley. There was eventually James V, the king. I asked if it meant the real king. When someone says, don't research something, that you won't like where it leads, what do? That no good can come of it. And in fact, down that path lies madness and ruin, but down another road, all life's dreams await for you. What do? To put it another way, if you collected and codified the history of a particular rituals and objects and groups, largely undiscussed in historical record, how would you protect, preserve, and present that group? Okay, now, what if you had a bunch of rhetoric superstition about outing this information because it may or may not fit in with various prophetic writings about future events? Now, are you ready to just become a secretary or a nurse? Or do you have a hero complex and think doors lead to more doors and new horizons? Then it's not about you anymore. It's about opening the new door for the next seeker like you. And that is how my life went from Greece to the real Da Vinci Code. And poverty be damned, I'm writing a book about all of this. I believe the people closest to a social phenomena are those most qualified to explain it. Yet, in doing so, they out what is most dear to them, making all vulnerable. To clear the way for the future generations of researchers and establish a cornerstone of solid research, to volley the next forward for those with the lifespan to do what I cannot. That is worth the saving of their pains and the foregoing of any of my own. So, in conclusion, please support my YouTube channel and research in preparation for my upcoming book. Thank you very much, and as always, many, many blessings. Thank you so much for your patience and kindness and listening to all of this. I sincerely appreciate it. It means so much to me. to have this outlet in which to speak to the people who reach out, who care, and want to know what I have to say. That means the world to me. Take care, and much love to y'all. Till next time. And I'm gonna push forward and make more content about what I just discussed.